Hey guys, welcome back to the Kikapetacademy. We're so glad you tuned back in. So on today's topic, we're gonna talk about the proteins in the dry pet food. I have here Polis today to explain me more how to select the food and the importance of the proteins in the feed.
Hello everyone, I'm very glad to be here. It's the first time for me to be in the woods and do the conversation, but it's very nice feeling. So when we go back to the topic regarding the proteins, nowadays more and more people, they understand about the importance of proteins in nutrition for dogs and cats. And when you are a little bit more educated, people usually go and check on the packaging how much of the proteins and the percentage are in the food. But then more brands nowadays, they started to indicate how many proteins from animal-based origin are in the food comparing with the plant-based. So now we have kind of the differentiation between the proteins from the animal origin and proteins from the vegetable origin.
What's the difference between these two proteins, the vegetable and the animal-based?
Yeah, so if we talk about the animal-based proteins, there are the sources that is usually used in the pet food. It's like chicken, turkey, lamb, then it can be salmon, any type of fish, and then some more exotic protein sources, as you can find, like, you know, like boar or kangaroo. Exactly. And then if we talk about the proteins, which are vegetable-based proteins, they are coming from the peas, from corn gluten, from potatoes. So the biggest difference is that the proteins, they provide the amino acids. And amino acids exactly what the dog and cat need. So animal-based amino acids, they deliver all the essential amino acids for dogs and cats. While the vegetable-based proteins, they don't. So, you know, I was reading one research. It was done by IAM's company, and the research was done with the dogs, with the adult dogs and aging dogs. And it was two groups, divided into two groups, and one group got the feeding only with a 100% animal-based proteins, it was a chicken, and another one got 50-50. So 50 was the animal-based proteins and 50 was the vegetable-based proteins.
Is it called, when it's 100% of one animal, is it called mono protein?
Well, it's a good question. I will let you know a little bit more afterwards.
I wanted to add this.
Yeah, so the result was that the dogs which were fed with the 100% animal-based proteins, they were much more healthier, and the fat content in the body was much more lower, and the protein level in the blood was higher. So it means that the result, when you feed the dog and cat, of course, with the more animal-based proteins, are more beneficial for the pet.
But you still need to have a balance of those proteins.
Yeah, you know, you can have a balance. The main function of proteins is to provide the amino acids, and this is needed for the skin, for bones, for muscles, for cartilage, for tendons. So it provides a lot of benefits based on the amino acids. So in this case, for example, the cats, they have 10 essential amino acids. Dogs, they usually have 9. The biggest difference is taurine. So the cats cannot produce the taurine by themselves. They need to get it from somewhere. And taurine, you can get it from the animal-based proteins, not from the vegetable-based protein, right? So this is the big difference, because when you feed the dog and cat with the animal-based proteins, you get the essential amino acids.
So explain to me what is mono-based protein or monoprotein, because recently I noticed that some of the brands and some of the products, they have the monoprotein name. Is it a marketing tool, or is it only one animal protein?
Yeah, it's a good question, because when you ask it only the one animal protein, yes, usually when you make a pet food, more and more companies, I also realize that they say that they have single protein or monoprotein ingredients in the food. But usually they still use kind of the potatoes, they still use kind of the corn or peas or any other ingredients which can bring some proteins from vegetable, derived from vegetables, right? So what I could tell that if there is a food, they can have monoproteins or single protein from animal based. What does it mean? If I use lamb, we don't use chicken, we don't use salmon, we don't use fish. Then it's mono animal based protein. But we still have something which is coming from the vegetable origin or plant based origin.
In the composition.
Yeah, so if you call it like single animal based protein, then it's fine. But if you call it single protein, then it's kind of the risk.
So it's kind of a marketing tool in a way?
You can use it for sure. You can use it for sure. It's a matter how you treat it and how you write it on the package.
You mentioned many times amino acids.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me what is it?
So amino acids, for example, as I told you, the cat has 10 essential amino acids, right? So for example, let's take the first one. There's a lysine, right? The lysine, together with the vitamin C and iron, it makes the collagen. And collagen is a part of the skin, the bone, nails, and many other parts.
So this is amino acids are used a lot in human food and
amino
products?
acids, it's needed for the humans, the same as it's needed for the dogs and cats.
Okay.
So lysine is one of those that makes the collagen, and especially the ladies, they know what is collagen, right?
We do know that.
And then there is the second one is, for example, the arginine, or you call it arginine. So it's very much needed for the muscles. So if you want to build up the muscles, you need the arginine. And every dog and cat, they need arginine to build up the muscles. And then there are also methionine. And if you don't provide the methionine for the puppies, they cannot grow as they should be able to grow. You know, it could be more diseases for the dogs and cats if they don't get the methionine. So at the same time, sometimes, you know, people are thinking that they can feed their dogs with the vegetarian or kind of the vegan formulas, which it's only my perspective, which I can accept it if you are sure that you can provide all the essential amino acids, like the same taurine or something like that, from any other sources except the animal based.
That is the vegetarian food. I read some articles and I heard a little bit more about them. It's a very interesting topic. I think we might do a video about it.
Yeah.
As we see in the human food, everything that goes and appears in the human food comes to the dry pet food as well, so vegetarian formula as well.
Or vice versa, because in pet industry everything develops very much faster, I think, than in human industry.
So thank you guys for watching, and again, if you have any questions or comments, please